YouTube channel. So tell me how's all of you are, and I hope everyone is preparing well for the upcoming examination of JIB. So today's session that based on some more questions, and in this session we are going to understand some more concepts. So let's start the session of today's. One update from our side, that is the MCQs batch of PPB, AFB and LREB is currently running. So you can also join this batch for 3000 MCQs, where you will get 1000 questions of the PPB, 1000 questions of the AFB, as well as the 1000 questions of the LREB. Okay. So with the code of the Y422, you can just get the maximum discount on the running batches, and you can avail the maximum discount by using the code Y422. So this batch is essential if you are on the final edge of the preparation, so you can subscribe this batch, and also you can just subscribe the batch that is revision batch. So you can just that is revision batch that is going to start from the 11th February, and this batch is also important if you are preparing for the upcoming examination. So with the code that is Y42, you can just avail the maximum discount on every JAIIB and CAIIB products that is related to your on Adda 247. Okay, so I hope you just subscribe these batches, because this is very essential for your final preparation. Okay, so let's start. So the first question that is based on the depreciation chapter, and here you have to calculate the rate of depreciation. So calculate the rate of depreciation under straight line method from the following particulars. So here particulars are given, and you have to calculate the depreciation with the method of the straight line method. So just solve by my way, like I always explain that you always have to calculate the total cost of the machine. Okay, so you always have to understand that you have to just consider the total cost of the machine. So total cost of the machine, that includes the cost of the machine plus the expenses that incurred on that machine, like spent on its cartridge, repairs and installations. So whatever the extra expenses that incurred on that machine, we just count for the total cost of the machine. So like here, we purchase a second hand machine for the 96,000 rupees. So if we purchase any machine of the second hand machine, that is of the 96,000 rupees, and spend 24,000 rupees on its cartridge. So that is also considered as an expense on that second hand machine. So just write plus 24,000 plus repairs and installations, that means 24,000 rupees over all the total extra expenses that incurred on that machine. So the total cost of the machine, that will be equal to this will be equal to this, and 1,20,000 rupees, that will be the total cost of the machine, isn't it? Okay, after that, another thing we understand, that is straight line method is known for the constant depreciation. Okay, so in the straight line method, the depreciation amount will be the same for every year, or say for every useful year. So the straight line method, the depreciation will apply the same for every useful year. Okay, what we understand by the useful year? Suppose that if we are talking about the depreciable asset, look, what we understand by the depreciable assets? Depreciable assets that used in our business to generate income. Okay, and these assets obviously just you just wear and tear and obsolescence. So depreciable assets that just used in the business to generate the income, like vehicles, okay, machines. So that is known as your depreciable assets. So whenever we talk about the depreciable assets, a useful life, that means till that years this machine will be work fine. Okay, so that is known as a useful years. Okay, and after useful years, whatever the cost of the asset will be remained, that is known as your scrap value. Say scrap value, or say residual value. Okay, so this is known as your scrap value, or say residual value. So like in this question, suppose that sometimes the question also may be asked like this, that is the after the useful life of the 4 years, the value of the machine, that would be 72,000 rupees. So now you have to understand that this value would be the residual value. Okay, in this question, this is already given, like here estimated residual value is already given. So sometime the question is like that after useful life, the machine cost is 72,000 rupees. So so there you have to understand that is known as your residual value. Okay, so the total cost of the machine that will be equal to your 1,20,000 rupees. Fine. Now you have to calculate the rate of depreciation. Look, the difference between the amount of the depreciation and the rate of depreciation. Just understand this. So, if you're talking about the amount of the depreciation, so how we just calculate the amount of the depreciation, that is total cost of the machine, that is equal to 1,20,000 rupees minus that is scrap value or say residual value, that is equal to your 72,000, and it is divided by the that is useful years, which is given here 4, isn't it? This is how we solve, right? And now this value would be 48,000 and it is divided by the 4, and now this value would be equal to the 12,000 rupees. So this is your depreciation amount. This is your depreciation amount. Like 12,000 rupees will be depreciated for that machine, or say for that second hand machine, for every year. Okay, or say for every useful year. So useful year, like here the 4 years given, that means 12,000 rupees will be depreciated on the first year, 12,000 will be depreciated on the second year, 12,000 will be depreciated for the third year as well as the fourth year. So that is known as your depreciation amount. Okay, after that you have to calculate the actually you have to calculate the rate of depreciation. So how you can calculate? Look, whenever you have to calculate the rate of depreciation, that means, look, 12,000, that is depreciation rate, that is depreciation amount, and on what amount it is applied, the total cost of the machine. So the total cost of the machine, that is 1,20,000 rupees. So now the rate of depreciation, that would be equal to the 10%. So that will be your answer. I hope it is clear for everyone. Okay. One more time, I am just explaining this, just understand. Look, here we have to calculate the rate of depreciation, and we just calculated like depreciation amount that will be equal to 12,000 rupees. So whenever you have to calculate the depreciation percentage or say rate of depreciation, so this 12,000 rupees is applied on the total cost of the machine. So like 1,20,000 rupees is the total cost of the machine, and just multiply by the 100 here, and you will get the 10% depreciation rate. So this is how we solve these kind of the questions in the exam. Oh, I hope from this question you understand the concept of the straight line method, how we solve these kind of the questions. Okay. Another question that is related to which accounting standard is for amalgamations and the treatment of the resulting goodwill or the reserves. Tell me the answer of this question. What will be the answer of this question? This is a very simple question. This is from the accounting standard. Look, what we understand by the amalgamations? What we understand by the amalgamation? Is there anyone who can tell me what we understand by the amalgamation? Look, an amalgamation is a combination of two or more companies. Okay, that is known as your, like, when it is a combination of two or more companies into a new entity. So whenever two or new companies just amalgamate and just form a new entity, that is known as your amalgamation process. So this process is known as your amalgamation. And what is the benefits of the amalgamation? Like a new entity just access to new market, right? Access to new market, access to new technologies, okay, access to new clients, okay, and eliminating competition. That is also a benefit of the amalgamation, that is elimination of competition. Okay, so that are the basic benefits of the amalgamations. Okay, so what we understand with amalgamation, whenever two or more companies just form a new entity, that is known as amalgamation. Okay, so accounting standard, that is accounting standard 14, that relates to your amalgamation and the treatment of the resulting goodwill or the reserves. One more important thing that is to understand here, that accounting standard 14 does not cater to the cases of the accusation. Okay, because most of the students just confuse between the acquisitions and amalgamation. Look, acquisition is just different from the amalgamation. What we understand by the acquisition, when one company purchases, look, this is a company A and this is a company B. So whenever a one company purchases most or all of the another company shares, okay. So when, like in this case, suppose that A just purchased all or say most of the shares of company B, so this process is known as a acquisition. Okay. Okay, it is basically just for the gaining control of that company. Like suppose that A just want a control of the company B, so that is known as your acquisition. So, or you can also say that when one company decided to take over another company, so that is referred to your acquisition. So it does not cater to the cases of the acquisition. So sometimes also question that can be asked, like accounting standard 14, that is for the acquisition, or that is for the amalgamation, or that is for the both. So you have to just understand that is accounting standard 14 does not cater to the cases of the acquisition. Okay, I hope it is clear. Next question. Next question, that is find the working capital of the business if the given. Anybody can tell me what will be the answer here? Look, whenever what we understand by the working capital, just understand here. What we understand by the working capital. So look, working capital of any company, that is a financial or say financial, which this is a financial metric that represents operating liquidity available to business. So it actually represent operating liquidity. Okay, it just represent operating liquidity of the whatever the operating liquidity available to the business. So basically, in the terms of the calculation, if I say working capital, that is equal to the current asset, and it is just subtracted by the current liabilities. Okay. So now you have to understand that is current. You have to just find out the current assets from the given particulars as well as the current liabilities from the given particulars. Okay. So how you can just recognize that? Look, we understand that is stocks or say inventory, that is part of our current asset, isn't it? It is a part of our current asset. Cash, if I say that is cash, cash is also a part of the current asset. All right, if I say the prepaid expenses, that is also our, like if I say that is prepaid expenses is also understand as our current asset. Bills payable, bills payable, that means the amount that we have to pay to our creditors. Okay, so look, understand the debtor and creditor. Suppose that we just borrow some goods or services from any person, that means now we are the debtor to that person. Okay, and meantime this person is known as a creditor for us. Okay, like this person is known as a creditor for us, and for this person we are known as a debtor because we just borrow the goods or services on credit. Okay, so in this term, that bills payable, that means the amount that we have to pay. So this is undergone under the current liabilities. Okay, in the terms of the short term debt, that means, or that also can understand as a short term liabilities. So short term liabilities, that also understand as a current liabilities. Now what we have to do, look, in this question we have to just now sum up the all the current assets as well as the current liabilities and just subtract the current liabilities from the current asset. Okay, so now current asset, that is stocks, are the part of the current assets, so 50,000. Cash, which is 1 lakh. Prepaid expenses, that is 40,000. Okay, and this is done for the current asset. Now the thing for the current liabilities, So bills payable, that is a part of the current liability. So just write here 20,000 plus 70,000 rupees. And now you have to just solve this and you will get the answer. So what will be the answer? Just tell me for this question, what will be the answer here? This will be equal to your 1,90,000, isn't it? Minus 90,000, and now this will be equal to the 1 lakh. So this would be your working capital for the business. Okay, sometimes in the exam, like you have to ask for the question, like you have to ask for the formula of the working capital. So you have to understand that is formula of the working capital, that is current asset minus current liabilities. Okay, so from these questions, from this question, you have to understand that three type of questions asked in the exam. Like first, like formula of the working capital. Second, calculate the total current asset, and third, that is calculate the current liabilities. Okay, okay, fine. I hope it is clear to understand. Okay, now the next question. Next question, that is to calculate quick assets, which of the following is not reduced from the current asset? Okay. So like this, in this question, you have to first understand what are the current assets are given, and from these current assets, which is not reduced for calculating the quick asset. Okay. So you have to just tell here. So look, if I say first you have to just categorize all the particulars into the category of the current assets as well as a quick asset. Okay, so whenever we are talking about the stocks, okay, so stocks are a part of our current asset, right? Inventories are a part of the current asset, but it is not the part of the quick asset, it is not the part of the quick asset. Okay, while prepaid expenses, that is known as our also our current asset, but it is not a quick asset. Prepaid expenses also not a quick asset. Okay, it is a current asset, but it is not a quick asset. That means that what we understand with the prepaid expenses. So prepaid expenses, that means the expenses that we already paid. Okay, so whatever the expenses we already paid, that is just gone under the current asset, but it is not a part of the quick asset. But when we are talking about the debtor, who is known as a debtor, that means who is known as a debtor, that means those persons, or say those company, from them we have to just receive the amount. Okay, so that is known as a debtor. In the last slide, we understand, suppose that this is me and this is you. Okay, and I just borrow goods from you, so that means now I will be considered as a debtor for you. Okay, so that means you have to just receive the amount from me, so that is known as a debtor. That means we have to receive the amount from our borrowers, so that is known as a debtor. So the debtors are a current asset as well as the quick asset. Okay, so the question, that is to calculate quick asset, which of the following is not reduced from the current asset? So which is not reduced from the current asset? That is debtor. Debtor will not reduce from the current asset for calculating the quick asset. Okay, so the correct answer, that is debtor, because in these particulars, debtor debtor will be your current asset as well as a quick asset. You have to understand one more important thing, that one more important thing, that when you understand like what the current assets and what the quick assets actually are, so you always have to understand whenever the terms that is given, stocks, inventories, okay, and your prepaid expenses. So in the exam you will get only these kind of the terms for the questions. Okay, so stocks, inventories and prepaid expenses, that all are a part of the current asset but not the part of the quick asset, and you have to just understand this and you have to just make the notes of this thing. Okay, this will be very beneficial for you for upcoming questions. Okay, so just write down this, that is stocks, inventories and prepaid expenses are not the quick asset, these only are the current asset. Okay, I hope it is clear for everyone. Next question, that is 5,000 rupees that is paid as installation of the banners from cash of the business. So how Mr. A record this transaction in his book of account? Okay. So like I always explained how you can like how you have to solve these kind of the questions in the exam. First you have to recognize which possibly accounts can be included in the particular transactions. Okay. So suppose that the 5,000 rupees that is paid as installation of the banners. So when we are talking about the banner, that means banner is a kind of the advertisement, isn't it? Banner is a kind of the advertisement of the business, or say banner is a kind of the advertisement of the company. Okay. So whenever we say that is like 5,000 paid as installation of the banners from cash of the business. Okay. So if we have to just recognize that what possibly accounts can be included in this particular transaction, so we just understand that one account that will be equal to the that will be that advertisement account. Okay. And another one, that is the cash account. now the question is now the question is, what account should be debited and what account should be credited? Okay. So like we know that if we are talking about the advertisement account, another account, that is cash, so cash account should be credited or debited. Just understand, if this is our company and we just paid 5,000 rupees, that means that 5,000 rupees just going out from our business. Okay. One more thing that to understand, that is cash, that relates to your cash is just your asset, and asset just comes under the real account category. And for real account category, golden rule of accounting says debit what comes in and credit what goes out, isn't it? Okay, I hope it is clear. So how we will make how to understand like what transactions should be debited and what transactions should be credited. So you can understand that one account, that is advertisement account, and another one, that is your cash account. Okay. So if you're talking about that advertisement account, 1 minute. So look here, you have to just understand that one account, that is advertisement, and another one, that is a cash account, and just write here to cash. Okay. So advertisement account is a kind of your indirect expense, isn't it? This is a kind of your indirect expense. And cash, that relates to your asset. Okay. And it is a indirect expense. Why we are talking about the indirect expenses? What we understand by the indirect expenses? Look, in a company, suppose that this is me, and this is my office, and this is my factory. Okay. So this is my factory, this is my office. So if any kind of the expenses that incurred on any product in our factory, that is understand as your direct expenses. And whatever the expenses of the offices, that is understand as your indirect expenses. Okay. This is also understand. So if we are talking about the advertisement account, that means it is a kind of a indirect expenses, and expense that comes into your nominal account category, because in the norm, whatever the expenses, losses, gains, income, we just keep under the nominal account category. Okay. And now for nominal account category, golden rule of accounting says debit all the expenses. So advertisement account should be debited, and cash account comes under the asset account. Asset we keep under the real account category, and for the real account category, golden rule of accounting says debit what comes in and credit what goes out. So here in this case, cash is just going out, isn't it? So in this question, how we will make the debit and credit transactions? Just tell me. Look, in this question, we will make advertisement account should be debited to which account? To cash account should be credited. This is how we will make the entry of this transaction. This is also can be write as here. Okay. but you have to just solve the MCQs, so you can also just do by this guide. Okay, so this is a basic of the how to make the debit and credit entry of the any particular transactions. Okay, so I hope it is clear for everyone. Okay, so that's all for this session. I hope this lecture is useful for you. And now we will meet on the tomorrow at the same time with at the 6:30 a.m. Okay, so thank you for joining me here and thanks for watching this video. And if you're liking our effort, please do not forget to hit the like button on this video and share this video to your friends. As well as download the Adda 247 application and subscribe the Officers Adda 247 YouTube channel so that you can just get the notifications of the live sessions as well as the notifications of the important news that is related to your exam. Okay, so if you're liking our effort, please do not forget to hit the like button on this video. Okay, so thanks for watching me here. Thanks for joining me here.